Hi, everyone. I'm Henry, along with Rob Montgomery and Paul Fisch, who are both graduated in 1986 and are both members of the Hall of Fame induction class for men's swimming in 1986. And we're going to ask them a few questions, but first, if they could both introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Rob Montgomery. I was a co-captain of the 86 team.
I'm Paul Fisch. I was also co-captain of the 1986 swim team.
That's great.
Glad to be here.
Great.
So our fun to be here, Henry, talking about our 86 team 35 years later.
Yeah, I know. It seems like quite the team, and it's left quite the impact on the GA community. So it's great to be here and speaking with you both. So the first question I was wondering about is, what does it mean to the both of you to be inducted into GA's Athletic Hall of Fame?
It's a nice honor. I think as much as anything, it's nice to look back and have a reason to reflect on the achievements of that team. As we were chatting about a little earlier, it was truly great swimmers. We had the opportunity to work out on a daily basis with world record holders and Olympians, and it was a great group that was doing awesome things. And what we did in meets was one thing, but the daily competition and practice and the adversity that we dealt with and the very hard training that we went through really bonded us, and it was a lot of fun. And so it's nice, here 35 years later, to think back to what those times were like. They weren't easy, Paul, but it is fun to look, and it gives us an excuse, I guess, to revisit that. So it's special.
Yeah, I agree with what Rob said. I mean, we had a great time swimming together day after day. We all had like a goal to basically, perform at a high level. We swam with such amazing athletes day in, day out. We didn't realize we were swimming with like incredible athletes, because it's just a lot of fun being at these, different meets and different practices. But we're all great friends. We're all in it together, and we all formed lifelong friends. And it's amazing, even if we don't see each other for years, when we all get together again, it's like we'd never left. And that's kind of like 35 years later means that we're all able to get together again and bring back memories, and it's really terrific to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, and looking forward to celebrating with all of our friends and Coach Schulberg.
That's great. And as you were talking about, I'm sure you both have such great memories swimming at GA. Could you share some of them with us?
Great memories.
Yeah. Some of which I don't think are PG enough for our audience. I think what I was saying earlier, the 86 team was part of the era, the 85 and 86 teams that won national championships. It was a great run. I guess it was the last time that the boys won a national championship in 86. But Paul mentioned earlier that the run really began in like 1982. We were really fortunate, to have great teams before, and the guys that mentored us as upperclassmen when we were freshmen and sophomores were very much a part of what we went on to achieve. And I think when after Easterns, which is the big high school swimming meet, or was at the time, in 1984, watching Mercersburg celebrate at Lawrenceville if they had won, and they had a pretty good run back in those days, some great athletes on those teams. And we just remember watching them celebrate, and from that next day on, we said we're gonna win Easterns, we're gonna win national championships, and it was great. And really, for those next 2 years, that was the focus. And while swimming in a lot of respects is a very individual sport, it was a great team, and I think in part through the training that we did, it was insane, the amount of yardage and the time that we spent in the pool, even by any standards. And that those challenges and that adversity made us even closer. And so it was a lot of fun. There were a lot of fun times, but I can tell you, there's a lot of things that I even still reflect on in my professional life that I could think back to sets that we did and workouts that we did that, seemed like they would be impossible, but we were able to persevere. So it's been a meaningful part of my life ever since.
Yeah, luckily I was not like in the long distance like you were, Rob and Henry, but I was in like, I was only doing maybe 15,000 yards where you guys might have been doing like 25,000. So not quite as bad, but our practices were pretty intense, and that was something that we all could like bond over, whether it was at lunch or at Rich's Deli or whatever it might be. We all basically had that common goal of like getting through practice, weight training that we might have done at lunch, and then just basically having a good time, getting together on the weekend after practice, whether it was on a Saturday or Sunday after practice. But it was really intense, but it was all successful at the end. And like Rob said, we translated a lot of those hard workouts to our professional careers, and it's paid off, and it's worked out extremely well. But it's been really interesting just to see the overall success of a lot of the athletes that have come out of the program over the time, going back from the beginning.
Yeah, that's great. And I'm sure you guys have spent hours on deck, hours in the pool, as you both talked about. And I'm sure you got close with Coach Schulberg. What was it like swimming for Coach Schulberg?
Back in those days, it was pretty crazy. I mean, I think he had some great ideas about some really twisted workouts to do, and he had people that were willing to do. I mean, he fostered that competitive culture in that pool. The types of things that if somebody else is able to achieve it, then I can too. And he created the atmosphere, he created the culture, and it was while we have pleasant memories, I can tell you a lot of the memories too were just as grueling could be. As Paul talks about getting together socially on a Saturday, that was after we had a 6-hour workout. So we kind of drug ourselves around socially like that. But it was intense.
It was.
No two ways about it. There's some workouts I can remember. The senior year, it was like every 8 days I was lane 6 with Erica Hansen, Trina Radke, and Dave Wharton, and we would do a 5,000 fly in the morning. And I was like, one day he said, okay, told us we had to go to lane 6. I'm like, kind of know what's going. And the clock's on the on the 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. And he says, okay, 10,000 fly, begin training now. And you're like, oh no, and like that kind of stuff where it was fairly commonplace. And, if everybody else was able to do it and other people were able to achieve it, it raises the bar. And that was the environment. There were just so many just great athletes, but really tough as nails human beings. I mean, the toughest people I've ever met in my life, were people I trained with in that pool.
Yeah, I remember also the buckets. That was like insane. I can't believe we used to train with the buckets. And then I also kind of remember just some of the dry land also. I remember like Trina Radke climbing up the ropes. Like that was a good example of one person can do it, like Erica Hansen, able to climb up 20 times. Trina goes up 21 times, or whatever the situation might be. But it's also different seeing Coach Schulberg, as a coach, and then after you're done swimming, seeing him in a different light. So that is different, altogether. But our swimming days were really intense. You didn't know what to expect the moment you walked in. to the pool because every day was a different set, and he would just, it was unpredictable, and it was just very, very tough. And we had morning practice, then you would have afternoon, and then the summers were even worse. You just had 3 days instead of 2 days. It was 3 days. It was just like nonstop. But we were able to be successful, at the end, and that was really the amazing part of it. And we did have fun, believe it or not. Everybody did have a great time. That's the crazy part about it, is that you would think that it would be a horrible scenario, everybody hating each other, but we had a lot of fun, probably like you guys do too. But yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And as you talked about some of the success you both had at the end of your careers, your final event at Easterns, which is, for those of you who don't know, the end of year swim meet among high schools in this area. You both were members of the freestyle relay, which won that final event at Easterns. Could you both talk about some of the memories you have regarding that relay?
I was the only non-sprinter on that relay.
Yeah.
It was fun, like it was Dave Wharton, of course, world record holder, Olympic medalist, Paul, myself, and Mike Peterson. It was also class of '86. Mike and I were co-captains of the water polo team our senior year. Mike went on to have a good career at the Naval Academy as a water polo player. At the time, it was the school record, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
I'm not sure how long we held it, but it was fun to break that record together. And
Oh yeah.
With us, I mean, there was so much tradition with our teams that it was really passed down by the older guys that mentored the younger guys, and talk about the people that that held the records before us and swam in this program before us. And at the time, you think it seems like they're ages ago, but it might be somebody that was swam 7 years before. But
Right.
a lot of that culture was passed down. And so anytime that you have the opportunity, I can't remember whose record we broke, but anytime you have the opportunity to take down one of those older people off the board, in a relay like that, it's really fun. And
Right.
I think we all really appreciated what that meant to the program, and really, the swimming family that was GA Boys Varsity.
Yeah. That was a really interesting swim for that relay, because I know that Schulberg wanted us to finish that up for I know Dave Wharton had an incredible swim meet, and I know Schulberg said to me, Wharton's had an amazing meet. He's actually going to lead off, I think, the relay. You're going to anchor it. Do not lose this relay. That's what he said to me. He goes, he's getting all golds at this so I'm like, okay, this better be a good swim. So, we won it, and it was awesome. Like, to finish up, our last swim, at GA with a gold medal at that, and breaking the school record for that relay, and it was fun, because that was like one of our fastest times that we've ever done, and we did it with like Rob said, with two pretty much sprinters that were on the team, and it worked out really, really well. But we all worked hard to get that relay down to the splits that we needed, and Schulberg was really happy with that. That's for sure. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, that's a great story.
Yeah, very exciting.
And then I think my final question for you both is just some advice that you have for GA students, current GA students, and anything that you want to leave them with.
I'd say, enjoy your time with high school sports. You probably hear that from other people, but it's fleeting. It's a nice thing to be able to just, tune out and just worry about your training and working out and hang out with your buddies. They're cool times, and I think certainly in swimmers, it's a sport that you can continue to do later in life in a very different way. But enjoy it while it lasts. It goes quickly.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. In fact, I think Rob started the movement to get water polo set up at GA because we didn't want to do fall training for swimming. I don't know if anybody knows.
I don't know
that,
how I
but
got blamed for that. Schultz blamed me. I'm like, I don't have, how did I have the power or the authority to start
did it.
water polo?
Yeah, I think you were the one that created.
I'm blaming,
You and
I'll blame
Peterson.
Cy. It was our
Sorry, that
predecessor
could
as
have been
well.
it too. Yep.
I
that
can't
could have
take
been it.
responsibility for that.
But yeah, that's what it comes down to. Like, enjoy your time at school. It's a lot of fun, and enjoy sports. But the bonding that you have, the camaraderie, it makes it really worthwhile. With hanging out with your friends, and being in a competitive sport also just helps you throughout life. I mean, it's really been great for building your life going forward. So it's been terrific, and we're glad to be here, and congratulations on your success as well, Henry.
Yep.
Going
Thank
to
you.
Stanford next year.
Yep.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, this was really great. And I just want to thank you guys again and congratulate you both again on your induction, and thanks for sitting down with me today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Henry.
Thanks a lot, Henry. Bye now.
All right. Nice to meet you guys. Bye.
You too.
Anytime.
Bye-bye. Thanks. Bye.